Morning, Dan. Morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
I feel like we've got to do that now because we've got like all these followers of like 12.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Chalkboard. And in today's episode, we've got Facilities Management Company with us. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Morning, Chris.
Obviously, with all our podcasts, like, it's not just always about the teaching and the world of education. It's the people that work for the schools as well. So I was really keen to get you on this morning, Chris, to talk about boilers, facilities management, heating.
Wow, straight in there, aren't you?
I don't know if I'm trying to make it exciting
with the gritty stuff there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because if someone's going to come on and watch a podcast about facilities management, they might go,
I'm off.
Yeah. So we're trying to spice it up a little bit, like we are. But yeah, as always, we'll get started. Let's introduction, Chris. Who you are, who you work for, and what you do.
Yeah, so I work for a company called Kiwi Facilities Management, based at Wakefield. We're a nationwide facilities maintenance company. We deliver services such as gas, boilers, heating, HVAC, plumbing, electrics, you name it. We'll facilitate it. Apart from soft FM, we tend not to get involved in that.
What's soft FM?
So things like cleaning, pest control.
Okay.
I was about to guess at that, but I should have known really. So
nice. Okay,
changing like sort of like toilet rolls and all that sort of stuff on site.
Soft FM, right? Okay, I've never heard of that. Honestly, I've never heard that.
Yeah, soft and hard FM.
I was going to say hard FM, is the nitty gritty stuff.
So that's like the stuff that you do, boilers. And how long you been doing? Well, how long you been at Kiwi for? And how long have you been involved with facilities management?
So facilities management for probably the last 9 years. Recently joined Kiwi Facilities Maintenance. I now head up business development. Been there for 3 months. Things are going really well, really well. Probably the best career move I've made over the last sort of 10-15 years. Really good start. And it's
so 3 months with the business, a bit of a plug in there. He's just saying it's been the best career move ever, just to plug him in, or is it actually been amazing?
So not only myself, obviously my partner, she can sort of see like a big change in just myself, my mood, how you are. I think sometimes you don't always need a pat on the back, but it's nice when things are going well, and obviously when you hit the ground running, it's nice sometimes just to say, oh look, I appreciate that. No, I'm not saying that I need arms around me every day and text messages saying you're doing a fantastic job, but it's just nice to be able to be appreciated, and it goes a long way.
That's nice.
There's always management techniques, isn't there? Football's a great sort of leveler, isn't it, of the different types of coaches and managers and
like Eddie
arm round.
Like working for Eddie Howe. You're a football fan?
Yes, massive.
Which team?
Leeds.
So yeah,
you can come back.
Leeds fans. Well, you're right. Do you know that's a lovely way to start. Is that actually your work's giving you a lot of
good feedback and sort of appreciation,
making you feel good and stuff. That's a really nice promo. That I love that for Reg. So
what did you do before?
We've got to take you back. We want to know, 8 years facilities management. What was it before that?
So I did have my own facilities maintenance company.
Right, okay.
It didn't go to plan due to non-payers, so that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Right.
I've worked for a security firm that had a facilities maintenance division sort of within there. Worked there for 5 years. That was good. My background's sort of within facilities maintenance. I've worked for a few companies since the servo days. But when I met Dan and Andy after
from Kiwi,
from Kiwi after my previous role, it just seemed like a good fit. It was local, close to my home. The package was good. The company, where they wanted to go, the vision, the people that they wanted, or the sectors that they wanted me to sort of break into. I'm not saying that we've cracked it already, but we're certainly making strides sort of within those sectors. So yeah, it's really good.
Nice.
So I'm assuming they're both New Zealand. Your boss?
No. So the Kiwi name actually.
It's a good call, that. Yeah.
When Dan Jowett, the business owner, when he started way back when. There was 2 companies. There was a gas side, which is Dan's a gas engineer by trade. He had his own business doing the gas works. That fell by the wayside due to sort of non-payers. And then the other side was an electrical company called Kiwi Electrics. Or Kiwi Electrical, and then they merged the 2 companies together to try and sort of keep it going, and they kept the Kiwi branding name and obviously rebranded it as Kiwi Facilities Maintenance. That's where the name comes from.
Not as exotic then.
No, I thought it was going to be a really great backstory there, but it's still a good merge. See, it seemed like they need each other, and it sort of merged together quite nicely with the services.
It's been obviously not a easy ride. Business never is, but they've done fantastic to get to where they are, and the growth and where we see the company going over the next sort of 3 to 5 years. The world's real oyster.
It's a common theme there, though, isn't it? And it's non-payers.
Oh yeah,
it's like
it is everywhere, mate.
It is. I think it's people want more for the money, and there's a lot of deception in the world and things like that. So it's how's to try and make it more successful and protect themselves. How have they implemented like working with people and trying to wean out the non-payers?
So it depends on who, as a business, we're focusing our attention on. So we're trying to sort of stay away from a certain sector. Sort of construction, it's a bit volatile. There's been a lot of construction companies that have gone under recently, big boys as well. So try not to sort of put too much attention into those type of clients. Focus more on sort of retail, commercial, hospitality, educational, and sort of concentrate on those 4 main sectors, as well as sort of dipping our toes into a couple of the other ones that we've worked with for the last sort of 10 years.
So it's a lot of it sort of like subcontract work with principal contractors where they've had problems. No, this is what the previous sort of experiences that they've had where the non-payments have come from the main contractors, or was it clients direct? Is it been a mix?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I didn't ask them that question as to where the shortfalls were. In my experience, it's come from either a main contractor or a subcontractor working for somebody else. Now the business strategy is to work direct and client. Therefore, you know exactly who you're working for. You're not reliant on somebody else. Obviously, a lot of the work, 90% of the work that we deliver at Kiwi is self-delivered. So we use subcontractors for a very small sort of margin of what we do, and they are specialist trades rather than your day-to-day stuff that our own guys deliver.
Which takes us nicely into education, because that's a big piece of it. Is it's something that we met, we spoke over LinkedIn, we got chatting, and you were really keen to link up and understanding how you work, and you've hit the ground running really, and with education especially. Just talk to us then about that, how you've tapped into that market, or because it wasn't happening, was it, for the business? You seem to have come in and taken the lead, seeing it as a sector that you want to do more in. Is that
absolutely.
Right?
I've always tried to get into the educational sector, and I've tried different ways, and having done that online course with yourself and Tracy, that sort of really helped position me as a person as to what I was doing wrong before. I did a lot of things wrong and very few things right. Now, understanding the positioning piece in far greater detail, I was able to sort of use that online course to get into schools and try it from a different angle. I joined Settle. That's been fantastic. We're now sort of 4 weeks in, getting lots of opportunities that have sort of presented themselves. I've not gone looking for them. Just trying to help school estates managers out there deliver some of the services that we can offer.
Yeah. Some plug-in promo for Settle here. Gotta love a bit of Settle.
Well, exactly.
Absolutely.
It's nice not to do it ourselves for once as well.
Mate. So, yes, that's all we've been doing.
You doing
for months is, but what I was keen to speak to you about as well is understanding the challenges then that you've seen especially speaking to schools, like there are big estates, and Lee, you can come in on this as well from your building surveying world. Schools have got masses and masses of heating across their stock. A lot of it's old, really old stock, and then a lot of it costs a lot of money to bring it back to life. So I'll start with you, Ely, actually. I'll bring you in.
You didn't prep me for this one, did you?
And then we can bring Chris in and we have a bit of a back and forth. But I don't really understand heating that much. I'm saying heating. FM is obviously a lot more than heating, but heating.
Mechanical.
Mechanical. It's a huge part of it. Yeah. But most schools that you see, they have got systems that are aged, not working properly. Boilers that are hundreds of years old, sat just still ticking over. Where's the school's challenge then? How are they supposed to get round bringing their estates back into the modern world, especially with decarb and stuff like that, when their budgets are tight?
Well, that's it. Money makes the work. Yeah, it's all right. I've got a nice answer, hopefully. So I think there's lots of challenges regarding the mechanical, mainly the mechanical. The electrical, probably less so, I'd say. But the mechanical, generally you're looking at anything over 15 years old as a system is coming towards the end of its life, even with regular maintenance, because it's just the kit is either discontinued or it's like a car. You can only keep a car for so long before it's done enough miles, you see. And you've got to think, like on a school, on a big scheme, even if it's a 3-boiler system, 2-boiler system, it's constantly working pretty much 24/7 for hot water, heating. So without that input and sort of investment into trying to maintain it, you're never even going to get that far. We look at schemes where the school's not even 10 years old, and it's whether it's been a poor installation or not been commissioned, or also has it not been maintained, because that's a lot of the time. You'll get 12 months into a brand new system and it's not been maintained because of hasn't got the funds to do it, or it's not been followed up by a certain individual, or the FM company hasn't had time to do this. Or it's very there's loads of different factors of why things go wrong. Then throwing into that, you've also got the sustainability arm and sustainability requirements that the government are trying to enforce. There's such a cost implication to that, because it's all new tech. So again, I've gone to schools where they've put brand new like heat pumps in, or wood pellet burners, and they're not being used because it costs too much to sort of maintain them or run them, and it's just, I think it's just not been thought out long term enough to sort of see the issues that are causing that. It's like we've got a huge system where they've got like just redundant boilers there. They have to go back to traditional gas
because they're so expensive.
Because they're so expensive.
So is this companies then selling systems on the amazing get yourself into the world of let's decarb your estate, let's put it in, but actually there's a hidden cost here, which is going to be $500,000 a year to run it.
Yeah, well, not that much, but yeah. But
I know what you're saying. Random wacky numbers about.
But it is that. I think it's not been maybe the when you have got a new school, it's not had the sufficient training or input to the school of how those things should be managed, which is great for an FM business to try and manage, but to unravel that, sometimes it's too late, because schools have got a delay to getting somebody involved, and it's just that sort of. Generally, boilers last when it was traditionally gas. It's sort of boilers will last for so long. As long as you get them serviced every year, that they'll have a good lifespan. And then when you replace it, you're only replacing the main boiler unit. You're not having to replace all the secondary heating, pipework and domestics, because you've been on top of it. But what you're finding is it's the impact that you're having to strip out everything because of the impact that the non-maintenance or lack of maintenance or the installation has been put on over the years. And it turns from a 20 grand boiler replacement to 150, 200 grand because it's a full system. So it's vital. And I think it's just, again, it comes down to education of the people involved in, and it's not the estates manager's got so much to do and so many things to think about. They can't be experts at everything. So yeah, I think it's an education thing for everybody.
So and that resonates, doesn't it? You almost go into schools and the guys are like, I've got this system, I've got this in, that ain't running properly, that's not doing that, that's that. How do you, as a business, or how have you as a business or yourself go in then and try and replacing the boilers is one thing, but how are you looking to make sure that what they're installing or if they're putting in next is going to work for the next 20 years without just flogging them a system?
Yeah, it's a good point that. We've recently quoted a school where the information gathered by the consultancy company didn't quite seem fit for purpose. So the school had one particular boiler that had been redundant for the past 12 months, and the other boiler was just running the heating system. So going to spec and pricing up what had actually been spec'd by the company, by the consultancy company, it didn't actually fit in the plant room on the measurements. So
consultancy bashing there. Absolutely not. No, I'd have made the plant room bigger. Knock it down, start again.
So obviously, there's ways and means around that. You can extend the metal skids. You can move the BMS system. So we as a company, trying to A, save the school money, and B, coming up with another solution as to what we do. Not trying to differentiate away from the plans that we've been given. This is a cost to do it as per the plan, but we need to increase the surface area below on the metal skid so that both stacks of boilers would fit. So that was one way. It's quite challenging, obviously. The information that you get given isn't always sort of fit for purpose, and that's by they might be going off plans that are 15 to 20 year old. From when the plant room was first fit. But obviously, they've had other materials that have been fit during that time, so you might lose 100, 200 mil because of some pipe work that's been installed or something else over the time. So yeah, it's challenges like that you've got to look at and overcome.
Would you go back to I'm pointing at you like it was all in, but I think it's not. But it's a great thing. You designed something in. Would you design something with the input of an FM company, or would you design it from your side and then pass it to the FM company?
I think a lot of the time you get a performance specification from consultants because of these things of like drawings not been up to date or not having access to plans and things like that. And so often you're up against it, time, cost, all these sort of measures, because it'd be great when it's have full set of drawings done, full measurement, then we can set out a nice new plant room, which is for a new build, but you've got to think we're retrofitting stuff into things that are 50, 60, 100 years old, and there's been so many adaptations. So I think there is always that consultant contractor sort of lock of horns sometimes of what's actually realistic and what's the want and the need sort of scenario. So when we work with sub-consultants and contractors, we're never, oh, you should do it this way. We want their advice. They're the ones fitting it. They're the ones that are day in, day out doing it. We're there to sense check stuff, I think, in reality. We'll come up with a scheme and design, but generally, if something's challenged by a contractor, and when I say challenge, it doesn't mean like a negative, but it's like, oh, have we thought about doing this way? It's for us then to assess and say, do you know what's a really good idea? Yeah, why don't we do it that way? And then where then protecting the client's interest, that because a lot of time contractors just get bashed saying, oh, well, let's try and strip out all the good stuff, still charge the same costs and all that. But it's not the case. It's bad stigma of everyone just trying to be out to everyone. But I think sometimes, like I say, when clients are going direct to contractors, they just don't have that buffer, that sort of sense check to say, is this actually fair? Is this the right thing to do? And a lot of times that's it. We're working with contractors. We're not dictating to contractors. We're sort of taking their expertise as well as our own to try and come up with the best solution. And sometimes it is designed wrong, or there's an initial design that's wrong, or the specification. But it's all these touch points going through the process. It's not just there you go, crack on. It's like constant pre-start meetings, progress meetings, them sort of things. So you do lean on the contractor, and likewise, I think the contractor leans on the consultant sometimes to sense check stuff and go, we think it could be this. What do you think? Does it to regs? Does it fit? Does it work on the whole spectrum?
Yeah, it was good. Obviously, having that back and forth with them, that they really liked the fact that we were challenging what was in front of us.
Proactive approach.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
So he appreciated the fact that it was getting challenged. We went to site, we measured up, we put a proposal in. They then sent us additional plans, so stuff that we didn't have from the very start, and it's just been a work in progress. But finally, we've got there, and it's
funny that,
moving
isn't it?
forward.
It's funny that some plans just turn up somewhere out of nowhere. But this is the challenge you face. It's constantly, you can ask from the start, have you got this, have you got that?
And do you know what, in the back end, estate managers sat just going, is everything all right? Are we on track?
No.
Is everything on track? Because
the flip side, you've got like, do it this way. Do it like this.
Oh,
do it
dictate.
Like this.
Yeah, they're dictating.
Yeah, which is totally fine. They're they might be an ex-heated engineer. Do you know what I mean? This is the challenge you're facing. You're dealing with a multitude of different disciplines. That could be potentially that role. It could be a joiner. Could be heating engineer. Could be a decorator. And they'll have their own ways of what they expect to do things. But I think the most accomplished estate managers are the ones that know what they know what the specialism is, but they're also quite open to understanding more and taking your advice. Whereas it can be the other way, where it is like sort of dictate, like this is what we're doing, but without much justification. So again, but it's an education, it's learning, it's sharing best practice and having. Yeah, I like to draw back to Settle.
Well, that's nice. They can share best practice. Absolutely.
And it's sometimes easier hearing it from a peer than someone that you're actually paying a fee to or paying a contractor to do, because.
So the costs of changing a full system is a lot.
Yes.
It's extortionate, usually more than the budget. Mm-hmm. So you've got to do a lot of things. But I want to bring in something that you've mentioned over the last few weeks. I've seen you mention about a product that you can put into a system.
Right, okay.
Really interested in this. Yeah. Don't understand it much. It looks, I guess, if you don't understand it, a bit gimmicky. I'm not putting it on, but if you don't understand it, it's like, what, you can put this thing in the system and it does. And
I'm turned off already.
Well, this is why we have these. We can talk about it. So if the only option is to change the entire system to get a better heating or save money, is the only option. That costs a fortune. But what is this other product? What's it called and what's it supposed to do?
Right, it does exactly what it says on the tin.
Ronseal, do not sue us.
Do not sue us,
no, it's called Hydromix.
Okay.
So it is a heat transfer fluid that dispenses or uses, instead of the water flowing through your HVAC system or through your heating system, so it'll be 50 or 60% Hydromix and then 40% water. But because it's a heat transfer fluid, rather than it being like a watery substance, it's got nanoparticles within it, which obviously have little tiny bits of metal that run through your system, like nanoparticles, so they're like a thousandth of an atom or whatever the size is.
I like that. We'll use that.
Yeah.
When you said particles in the system, I was getting slightly concerned.
Well, this is what So you're replacing so you're not having to use water then?
No.
Or a part of the water?
No, so
it's a wet system still, obviously.
Yeah, it's still a wet. It's just like glycol.
Right.
But it's used in many buildings, Eiffel Tower, Empire State Building, as one. It's an American product. It's been around now for quite some time. It's getting used. It's actually been used in some schools down south in Chelmsford, in diocese schools, and they've seen within 3 months of using the product, 35 to 42% saving on their energy costs.
So I'm going to guess, because I don't know what it is, but I'm assuming it retains heat in the water for longer.
Yeah, faster. It warms up faster.
So because the metal molecules are in the water,
that's correct.
It's got more right. Okay, fine.
Interesting then.
Sounds expensive.
Well, two things. One is is there a downside? Because obviously it seems like too good to be true.
No-brainer, yeah.
No-brainer.
Yeah.
It's almost like if I'm working in sales, I'm like, everyone
Why do
buy
you not use
this.
this? Yeah.
Why are you not buying it? What's the drawback then? Or is there one?
I can't say one.
Okay.
If there is, I think it'd be a far easier sell if I'd have said it will save you 10% on your heating bill, on your annual heating bill, but it doesn't. It can save you sort of between 30 and 40%, and that there's loads of caveats to that. It depends on if you're sat there with your windows open, or if you've got a big extension, or underfloor heating, or however you use the actual system. But as in a standard commercial property or a school estate, for example, you've got these big cast iron radiators, and if you to use Hydromix sort of within there and you used it correctly, then you could save sort of between 30 and 40%.
And this is, is it things like this that are just not, that everyone doesn't know about because they are in that grey area where someone's gone, no, they're not great, or is it just not hit the market yet where people, because it seems like a non-brainer. Everyone you might as well put it in your system, genuinely, unless it starts rusting the pipes, or there's an issue inside the boiler and it starts rusting over 10 years or something like that.
There's different things. I've never heard of it, to be honest, so I'll be honest, it's a new one to me, so I'll be peppering my consultants' ears of this in the next few weeks, probably, as summer arises. There is protection for that, things like heat exchangers, and which sort of tries to protect your boiler from your heating pipework system, so it's basically...
Oh, the liquids that you pour in.
No, they're inhibitors, but what your... like your... I've forgotten what the word I just said now, but like it just keeps a separation.
Right.
So you've got your boiler and your pipework and your fluid going on there that heats up, and then it hits a heat exchanger which transfers the heat and then heats up all the pipework to your radiators. And normally that's where it collects all like your I say silt, but all like your offshoots from water and the hardening, and so that doesn't seep into your boiler and destroy your boiler, because a lot of the time that's where it'll happen, where it comes through and then goes through to your boiler and then defects your boiler. But by keeping them, but this seems like that would keep that all a lot cleaner, and it keeps it heating
because of the actual size of so like obviously a grain of sand, if you had grains of sand running through your system, it'd absolutely ruin it to bits. But it's obviously it's like a thousandth of the size of a grain of sand, so it's that small that it can go through the system. It's just like water. To actually have it in a tube at the side, it just looks like cherry aid. It's just like a pinky red liquid that comes in a big IBC, and then obviously we just...
Would you still have to use like your inhibitors and your sort of cleaning the system every so often? There'll obviously be maintenance requirements, I assume, for that, or is that...
No.
It requires less, does it? Okay.
Yeah, so it's sort of self-maintained. Obviously, we'll do a one annual service on it, sort of every year, just to make sure that everything's working as it should be. But yeah.
Right.
With schools, just on maintenance then, we'll come back to this, because it's something that's quite interesting, but with maintenance... schools that you're going in to say look at upgrading their heating system, do you ever ask them what their maintenance plan is, and are you ever shocked to find that they don't have them, or they've not been doing them properly?
Yeah, I mean, some schools don't have up-to-date maintenance plans. They might have or have had something that they've had in place for sort of 10 years that needs a bit of restructuring. Certainly where we come in, we can go into the schools, we can do an asset report on everything that they've got sort of within that school and build up a PPM for that particular school. So we can look at things like fire door protection, fire risk assessments, fire extinguishers. We can look at the electrical. We can look at the gas boilers. We can look at the emergency lighting. We'll put all that on a PPM and we'll give it to the school, and then
let them do that. Yeah, I don't know. Do you ever come across the maintenance plans being off or not on track? Or are they quite good with when it comes to boilers?
Generally, I think the difference between having paperwork up to date and actually doing
having a sticker
the
on
role.
it.
Yeah. And that's why I think there's been these things where you can have QR codes that people can scan and make sure it's been recorded and things like that. There's lots of different ways of managing the data, but it's sometimes down to the individuals, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if they're busy. It could be something simple as like they're doing the dosing, or they're checking for Legionella, and the fire alarm goes off, or the caretaker gets a rager saying, "Oh, someone's been sick." Or so it's keeping track of everything, and procrastination and getting sidetracked. It's easily done in a day's work, isn't it? It's sort of like it's making sure you're going back to that. So how do you make sure that everything's ticked off? I don't know. There will always be some human error or human sort of element to it. But I suppose the easier you can make it a login things, or outsourcing, so actually the liability is on that individual, is the other option. But then schools will look at costs and go, well, it's going to cost us X thousands to do all these different things a year from an FM company, when we can employ a caretaker so many days a week to do that. But then again, it's on their own liability, you see. So
when you fitted systems, will you put a package in place to then service it afterwards?
Yes.
Always?
Yeah, always.
There's always an offering, of course you want to service your kit, but...
Do people take it up?
Yeah.
Usually?
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like you said there, you made a really good point. So obviously they can't do electrical testing, and they can't do the gas boiler testing, but if they've got an in-house caretaker that can do some basic maintenance issues, that's one way of sort of keeping costs down. But generally, your more specialist stuff will come out to an FM company like yourself.
Yeah.
Which are probably your big ticket items, It
is. I know we're really on. It's good though. It's good to know. I just think estate managers that listening to this and stuff can get some good tips and so. With training, then, that's a real.
It's making best use of their time. That's what the aim is to do.
Can you fit systems, and then do you offer training for schools teams to maintain their stock?
Not as yet, but
it's a little idea for you.
Yeah, well,
set some training modules up for them to watch afterwards.
Yeah, we'd had initial discussions internally as to how that may look over the next sort of 6 to 12 months. Right now, probably not geared up to be able to offer that just yet, but it's certainly something, having had conversations with yourself over the last sort of few weeks, that it's something to definitely look into.
Yeah, I think that's a difficult ask, especially on mechanical, because it's like,
so then
how many boiler sort of brands are there?
Oh yeah,
there's loads. How many sort of required? So it'd have to be tailored to certain levels of skill sets, really.
Yeah.
But like I say, just having that basic skill sets, like, could you change a tyre on your car? I know I couldn't. But
no.
Generally, that's...
Absolutely not. I don't have a clue.
You bring that
I don't even know how to change oil. I don't even know how it works. I just drive it. I don't know anything. I'm terrible. I look under the hood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know.
If you could have then a few base elements to say, this is a tyre, this is your locking wheel nut, this is that, surely that's better than not having anything.
And that's that's something that could be really valuable out there, that as a business you look to go, can you provide training modules that can be uploaded onto potentially some software called Seton? What's the biggest challenge then? I can ask you both on this one. Look, it seems to me, I'll give you an opinion from my side, which is schools are tight on budget, costs to replace heating. Heating's just massive. It's a huge part of it. It's not just heating, it's all mechanical as well. Vents and everything like that, and aircon. Don't know if you have aircon and all that in schools, but the costs just seem absolutely insane. What's the best route for a school to start their journey to getting their heating system up and running? And I think you're going through a live example right now, aren't you, of a school that's trying to do that. They've got a terrible heating system. What's the first thing they do? What's the quick win, do you think? Apart from putting that stuff in, which actually would be a really good win. But sorry to cut you off there. What would be the good? How could they start?
I think first and foremost, you need to do an asset list to determine within your school estate what sort of assets you've got, what your requirements are. Once you've obviously got that, then you can have a look at energy, what your costings are per year on each of the schools, where there's cost savings to be made, and taking it from there. Ultimately, the two main things for a school is the energy consumption and the cost that comes with that.
Yes.
Data capture.
Yeah,
that's what it's.
The initial assessment and and then understanding the stock.
Understand, exactly what's there, what condition is it in. how old, what, and then you can plan how best to manage that, because like managing a 10-year-old boiler compared to a 1-year-old boiler is probably two very different things, depending on what the condition is and the brand. And getting parts, you might not be able to get the parts. There's so many companies that go bust, or manufacturers obsolete parts. Oh, you don't do it anymore. Okay, what's the option? Well, you got to replace it. So it's how do you plan for that? You can't without knowing that sort of thing. How can this save money? I think having the data and then economies of scale, like having some sort of procurement route with somebody to try and lock in. The cost of everything is going up. Everything in the world is going up. So let alone building materials and mechanical materials. So it's sort of trying to maybe lock those agreements in, but knowing exactly full well what you're getting yourselves in for, and that is only by having the data up front. Unfortunately, a lot of time they'll probably get locked in with a company and not have that, and they'll probably take the. I'm pointing to you as AFM business, so to speak. They'll take that and then find the data, and then you're sort of like in a weaker position to try and negotiate, because it's like, oh, well, we're locked in, so this needs doing, this needs doing, this needs doing now. Yeah. Whereas I think a lot of time it's getting the data up front, and so it's hard. It must be hard for trust, because they're absorbing schools left, right, and centre and growing, and without that data, they might have their own data, but then they're absorbing new schools that don't have that data. So again, there's that risk element that they're taking on. Again, it's a risky, and it's even new schools. We look at ones that are like 5 years old, and they're probably the worst ones because of different things that have happened in its lifespan. Why it's not been bad install, not maintained, or not the right design for that sort of school. A lot of times schools grow very fast, so they're bolting on different new schemes, so they'll have a capacity size on the system, but then the school might be doing really well, and they need a massive extension. So how does that impact the efficiency of something? So
just a quick one: do you get involved with ground source heat pumps?
No.
So the only reason I ask is we've had a few schools that these were fitted just because it was all part of the
air source or ground source.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two very different things.
Yes, they are. And they were fitted part of the carbon push. Let's get all this stuff in, putting solar panels on roofs that are not being refurbed, all this type of stuff. All this. Is it, you say you don't get involved with it, is that because you don't believe actually it's a bit of a fad, or actually is it good stuff if used properly? And the money's there to run them.
I mean, obviously it's a government incentive. They've done a big push on sort of sustainability and becoming net zero, and obviously that's why they did a big push on air source and ground source heat pumps, and there were various grants available, and RHI did the big grant for the biomass boilers way back when. So there was obviously a big push from the government to sort of push that into schools and other
public buildings.
Do I think it's where it needs to be? It
is what it is. I'm not putting you on the spot, to be fair, but these things just seem all a bit gimmicky, don't they? Like, but they're not, but it don't seem to work in.
Hindsight's an easy thing, though, isn't it?
It is.
It's like, do you know what I mean? It's it's going to cost this now, but they probably didn't have enough data to roll it out. And like you said, it's the transition of tech. What they did, what they proposed 10 years ago, is out of date. Yeah. Or getting out of date. But then it's more efficiency. So it's really hard. Maybe they have to do something. They have to act on climate change, so to speak, as a collective sort of narrative. But that was probably the most cost-effective options at the time. In my head, sort of thing. So they've got to look at like solar. When you bought it 10 years ago, it was megabucks, but then there's all the big tariffs that you could sell back to the grid. Now it's cheaper by a long way, but you're not getting the payback into the grid. But you've got to do something, because fuel is only getting utilities are getting more and more expensive. I know they keep putting price caps on things like that, but schools have got to actively look at options and make their own assessments of, and not just be swayed by, there's public money there, or there's a grant funding there. It's got to be right for the system. So I don't think it was wrongly sold or anything like that, I think people maximise out of it. Your own companies will maximise out of that sort of sell. But it's just things change. Things adapt. Like everything. It's like you buy a laptop. What's it got? 2 years lifespan now, does it say? People will say so. Yeah. It's like everything. It's just going with the time. So it'll be interesting to see what the next 5 year looks like, because everyone throws hydrogen around as an option for cars. Yeah. Electric cars get bashed left, right, and centre. But if they work, they work. Elon Musk ain't doing too bad, is he? You know what I mean? It's difficult to say. Sit there and go, well, is that the right thing? The wrong thing?
Hindsight. We can all jump on that. We can't count and go, it didn't work. But look, listen, I've really enjoyed this chat about facilities management. We've not done out on FM. It's it's a topic it's really important. It really is important, and I think
it's undervalued.
It is undervalued. There's loads you can talk about. We can
FM's like, jack of all trades, they do everything, but actually you do need those people that do all that. You can't just be a heating engineer. You can't just be an electrician. Everyone wants a one-stop shop, don't they?
Yeah,
they want somewhere just go deal with that.
Yeah.
If you go to the hospital, you don't go, I've hurt my leg.
Yeah.
Can someone help me? And you get help, don't you? It's not like, this isn't the right hospital to go to. You've got to go to the other hospital that does legs, sort of thing. It's
the leg hospital.
Not the best analogy.
The leg hospital.
The leg hospital. So you see how it works.
Yeah, lovely. Well, look, we'll end it here. But Chris, thank you so much for coming on.
No worries.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.